Today is June 25th, 2016. Joining us on the porch are Julie Fischer and Olivia Flint.
The best place for family. What are you waiting for? Where friendships run deeper. Come join us on the porch. So glad you're on the porch.
That's right, kids. You've made it 2 weeks. I'm proud of you. And really what that was, it wasn't that we couldn't schedule anybody or that we were super busy or that we couldn't, fit in a show last Thursday. What we decided was that we were going to take a week off so that you could get used to not hearing my voice every week. And what we're hoping is that in the time that On the Porch Radio is not live, that you'll be using that time wisely, like getting some sun, hanging out with your family, enjoying some time brought to you by our sponsors, who I'm not going to give away. You'll have to listen to the rest of the show to hear that. But more importantly, that you're going to use that time to go into our archives and listen to some of the past shows that maybe you missed because you were too busy. So when we took last week off, it was for your own good. It was for you, our listeners. We're all about strengthening, supporting, and that's what we were doing by not giving you a live show last week. And I can tell that you've all done a swell job because you're back, and you look great, by the way. Recently, we were reading polls about podcasts that have really taken off, and On the Porch was on that list. And in the number one slot, there we were, in the category of the best looking audience members. So thank you, listeners, for taking good care of yourselves. You're attractive folks. Keep it up. And speaking of attractive folks, 2 fine guests are here this evening. Not by scheduling or because we invited them onto the show. No, it's because we had car issues. Renee actually found a woman in Oswego at the last minute and said, hey, we're going to have a live show tonight and people are tired of listening to just us. So it'd be great if we had a guest hop in the car. They were at the farmer's market picking up some stuff. And so Julie Fischer said, okay, she's a trusting woman. And she got in the car and they started driving toward Palermo to the Wooden Apple Farmstead, where Renee then decided she was going to do some quick thinking. And they were following a construction truck, and she saw that there was a box of nails that had opened up in the back of the truck, and it was spilling nails into the road. And so she pulled over just enough over the white line so that she could drive over those nails, popping her tire, leaving her stranded on the side of the road, waiting for somebody to come help. Renee's a good actor, and there she was, looking all helpless and so sweaty and messed up on the side of the road. And Olivia Flint and her father Jeff decided to pull over and help this young woman out. They decided that they couldn't help her out, so the car's still sitting on the side of the road with a flat tire. But what did happen was that we ended up with another excellent guest. And it just so happened that she had her guitar in their car with her. So we have music guest Olivia Flint, who's going to play some really cool stuff for us this evening. And Julie Fischer is going to tell us about the really awesome stuff that she's been doing. Mostly between the farmer's market and here, but it's all good stuff. So we're glad that you're here. We're glad that we have guests and quick thinking on the Porch Radio Hour staff, because without the quick thinking and construction truck, we might not have had guests this evening. Well done, crew. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of our listeners. And we're going to talk about how proud we are of everybody in a little while, but until we get there, Olivia Flint, you're on the porch.
my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I go hungry, I go black and blue. I go crawling down the avenue. Oh, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on the rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. Oh, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love.
So I'd like to welcome to the show a very good friend of the Wooden Apple Farmstead, Julie Fischer. Thanks for being here, Julie.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just explaining to Julie before we came on the air that I unfortunately have been a super busy man, and I haven't done all of my homework. And so when I think of you, I think of the Wooden Apple Farmstead and our Music and Arts Festival, and how you were walking around last year with your camera and taking a ton of pictures. And I don't know why, but I remember something about cupcakes. And I don't think you brought cupcakes, but maybe we ate a cupcake together or something. I don't remember. But anyway, that's what I remember and what stands out in my mind. And I'm pretty sure that you're not here about photography or cupcakes.
I'm actually not here about photography or cupcakes. You're right.
I do want to put in a plug for you, though, and I don't know if this is something you really cared for plugs about or not, but your photographs were great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thanks.
And it was cool to have you here and have you in our presence. And it was just nice to have you around the farm all day.
It was so fun being here, too.
Yeah. So when you're not hanging out at the Wooden Apple Farmstead taking pictures and eating cupcakes with the host of a really awesome show, what is it that you're doing?
So I have a healing arts business. I work with men and women who don't feel like they quite fit in some area or areas of their lives. And they try and conform, and it feels like a hammer trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Mm-hmm.
Often they know that there's some answers that they can get out of books, and there's some things that they can learn. But they also realize that they need to be able to look at their own stuff and then to be able to address that and come up with their own solutions, because not all the solutions come out of books.
Right.
So I use clairvoyant readings and energy healing to help them look at their stuff and then figure out a way to shift what isn't working for them out of their space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So when you're doing that, you're sitting with them while you're doing the reading.
I actually do it both live or readings I do on the internet. If we're doing distant healings, we do them over the phone.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of areas are you looking at when you're doing a reading? Are there specific components and elements and energies in the body that you're looking for, or how are you doing your reading?
That's a really great question. So my readings are aura readings. I don't talk with, I don't communicate with spirit. There are other people that do that and enjoy it. And my interest is when I'm doing a reading for you, I'm looking at your energy.
Okay.
And so my readings start out, and I read the aura first. So about the first half of the reading is me reading the aura. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the energy in your aura, what's setting the tone for certain areas of your life. And what's really interesting is sometimes I'll see energy that is your energy, and I love looking at your energy because a person's own energy is always beautiful. But sometimes I'll also find a place where somebody has handed you a story or a limited belief, and if it's showing up, it's probably means that it's not working for you anymore, and it's ready. You're ready to shift it out of your space.
Right.
So just being able to see it is the first step to being able to shift it out of your space.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So, you were saying that reading a person's aura is like the first half of a reading. Tell us a little bit about then, about how long is a reading. And I know, I'm sure that it's different for everybody, but.
It is. I do 60-minute readings.
Okay.
So it's about 25 to 35 minutes for the aura reading. It all depends on what's showing up. And then the rest of the time, the person I'm reading gets to ask questions. They can ask questions about what I've read. They can ask questions about anything else in their life that they want answers about. Finances, their work, relationships, their health. I don't give out lottery numbers. I don't predict the future.
Right.
And I actually really won't tell somebody. Like if you ask me, should I take this job or that job, I won't tell you that. But I can read the energy of both jobs, and that gives you more information to make a really informed decision.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that's great and very empowering.
Yes.
Letting the individual that you're working with, you're just letting them know what you see and helping them see that, and then helping them or just letting them make those decisions and seeing what feels right.
Exactly.
And that feels really good to me. I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I've really been doing this only for about a year. I've kind of claimed it a little bit longer, but over the past year, I've really shifted in, and I'm taking it really seriously. I've made some really big shifts. About a year ago, I would have been telling you that I was also a health coach. And that plays into it. Sometimes I'm doing a healing and coaching comes up, and we need to do a little coaching about what I'm finding. But I've made some really big shifts just to focus on the energy aspect of it, and I'm finding that I really love that, and I'm not fighting being able to find clients anymore. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. When you decided it was time for you to start doing this work, did you find yourself going through a similar experience that people are coming to you about now? Did you just open yourself up and say, this is what I want to do, or I'm feeling this and this is what I need to be doing? How did that process go?
It is interesting that lots of times what people are coming to me for is something that I have already shifted out of or am in the process of shifting. But not always. For me, this kind of started about 5 or 6 years ago when I took Reiki, and I got some healings from a teacher. And as I was doing this, I realized that I have this ability to sense energy. And I had always not been completely satisfied with my corporate job.
Right.
So when I got an opportunity to go to a massage school, I said, it's time for me to leave. And so that has been my path over the last 5 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. How can people find you, find out more information, get in contact with you?
I have a website. It's juliefisher.com. And when this gets posted, I'll link that in a text or a comment.
Oh, cool. Good.
And the other thing you could do is if you're in Oswego, go to Canal Commons and come on downstairs. If I'm not busy, you can knock on my door. There's always a sign that says either come in or I'm busy right now, but you can come back at this time. So,
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Julie Fischer, please make sure you're checking her out at juliefisher.com. I think I just made a decision too, and I don't know why after 60-something episodes this is just happening. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. But you can link that in a comment. You can link your information in a comment, but it doesn't take very long to type a person's information over the photograph that we're putting in the slideshow. So we should probably start doing that. So, I don't know if I'm editing the show this week, but I can at least do that. All right, I guess I'm editing the show tonight. But anyway, thank you, Julie, for being here, and I hope that you continue down your path because I've heard really good things.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Julie Fischer. And now, a word from our sponsor. Let's be serious here for just one moment. The other day was the summer solstice, that time where we switch from the changing from winter to summer to actually being in summer, and that day is the longest day of the year. So when you're enjoying the longest day of the year next year, I'd like to plant a seed. Because tonight's sponsor of On the Porch Radio Hour brings you the most delightful thing that you could be doing, and why not be doing it all day on the longest day? Ladies and gentlemen, that's picnics. Picnics are the most delightful thing you could possibly have, and let me tell you why. Sandwiches. Sandwiches in a basket. Sandwiches in a basket on a blanket. Sandwiches in a basket on a blanket in an ant-covered lawn. Sandwiches in a basket on a blanket in an ant-covered lawn with beautiful children running around, making you forget that you're getting eaten alive by ants while you're eating alive your sandwiches that came in a basket while you're sitting on your blanket. Picnics, ladies and gentlemen, they bring out the sun. Have you ever heard anybody say, "I don't mean to rain on your picnic"? No, because that doesn't happen. Rain only happens on parades, weddings, and days that you want to be playing outside. So switch your paradigm, ladies and gentlemen. Don't decide you want to go outside and play. Decide you want to go outside and have a picnic. And when you're done having your picnic, let your food settle and then go play. It won't rain because the sun, the stars, the clouds, the earth, Mother Nature all honor picnics. So when you find yourself looking for a bottle of wine that's wrapped in wicker, you're in an antique store and that bottle's probably empty. But what you can do instead is take yourself out for a picnic. You don't need that bottle of wine that's wrapped in wicker. You need a sandwich in a basket on a blanket in an ant-filled lawn, watching your children run around and play, thanking you for saying you wanted to picnic and not play because it's not raining. And then when you say, "Hey kids, when we're done with our picnic, let's go to the parade," you know what they're going to say? "No, it rains on the parade. I want to stay here and picnic." So pack an extra sandwich. Pack your family, pack your friends, pack the rain for another day, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy tonight's sponsor. Enjoy On the Porch Radio Hour, and enjoy your next 75 picnics. You're listening to On the Porch Radio Hour. We'll be back. Uno momento.
This is what's happening in central New York. Oswego Expeditions offers historical walking tours of Oswego every Saturday at 11 a.m. For more information, visit oswegoexpeditions.com or call 315-561-0223. The 6th annual Made in New York Festival will be held at Madison Barracks in Sackett's Harbor on July 2nd from 11 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. For more information, visit Made in NY on Facebook or contact Mike Campbell at mcampbell@madisonbarracks.com. The Cowlett Theater and Conference Center hosts Caroline Cole on July 8th, Rick Larimore on July 15th, and Hollywood Nights, the Ultimate Bob Seger Experience on August 18th. To find out about these and other events at the theater or to purchase tickets, visit callettheater.com or call 315-298-0007. The Finger Lakes Lavender Festival is July 9th and 10th at Lockwood Lavender Farm in Skaneateles. Visit fingerlakeslavenderfestival.blogspot.com or find the Lockwood Lavender Farm on Facebook for more information. The Billionaires perform at Veterans Park in Oswego on July 7th at 7 p.m. as part of the Oswego Summer Concert Series. For more information, visit Oswego Summer Concert Series on Facebook. Friends of Oswego host a downtown sock hop on West 1st Street on July 24th from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. There will be 50s music, dance contests, costume contests, classic cars, hula hooping, and more. Visit Friends of Oswego on Facebook for more information. Friends of Spirit host a holistic health and psychic fair at Mexico Point State Park on August 27th. For more information about the event or to become a vendor, visit Friends of Spirit on Facebook or call 315-341-4547. Mother Earth Baby hosts Fun with Essential Oils on August 5th at 4:15 p.m. Call 315-216-4622 for more information. The Oswego YMCA Dragon Boat Festival will be held August 19th and 20th. For more information, visit OswegoYMCA-DragonBoatFestival.com. Artie Camp is 6 weeks of creative day camp experiences at the CNY Arts Center. Programs in studio, theater, and culinary arts for ages 6 through 16 are offered. Registration is now open. The CNY Arts Center also is now rehearsing for Pollyanna, a family musical which will open on August 5th. The Arts Center also offers a monthly writers' cafe where writers of all ages can come and share their work in a casual setting. For more information about Artie Camp, Pollyanna, Writers' Cafe, and many other projects and events at the CNY Arts Center, visit cnyartscenter.com. The Wooden Apple Farmstead 4th Annual Music and Art Festival will be held September 2nd and 3rd. The event will include a songwriters contest, vendors, and live music. For more information about the festival or to find out how to become a contestant, vendor, or performer at the festival, visit Wooden Apple Farmstead on Facebook or call 315-591-0711.
I would like to welcome Olivia Flint back to the microphone. Actually, I'd like you to welcome her back because, well, I think we all should, actually. Welcome back, Olivia.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Olivia, you are graduating. You've graduated from high school.
Actually, that happens tomorrow.
Oh, wow. All right.
So, yep, almost done.
All right. And what high school are you graduating from?
Oswego High School.
Oswego High School. You're a Buck.
Buccaneer.
Oh, sorry. A Buccaneer. Does that mean you're worth $2 because you have 2 ears? Okay. Let's. So, how did you get started with music?
Well, I would say it goes back to 3rd grade when I joined chorus.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize I had such a passion for singing until middle school. Probably 8th grade, we had a Cone Brio, which was an audition chorus group.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and we just sang some really cool songs, and I got more confidence to do solos, and yeah, really fell in love with singing.
That's awesome. And I love your use of the word passion because I think that it shows. And I've had the opportunity now to see you sing in musical performances, and I've had an opportunity to see you sing while playing the piano, and I've had the opportunity to see you now sing playing your guitar. And so in that time between 3rd grade and Con Brio, were you picking up instruments? Were you taking lessons? How did the piano and the guitar start to fall into place?
Well, I used to take piano lessons when I was really little,
Mm-hmm.
but I I was a stubborn little kid, and I was like, I don't want to play these little, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I'm like, I want to play songs that I want to play. So I stopped taking lessons and dropped piano for a while, which I'm just now like picking it back up and just trying to teach myself. And it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I just got a lot more confidence with singing and wanted to go out and perform in the community and places. But I realized I have nothing to bring with me. I have no music. So I asked for a guitar for Christmas and just started teaching myself. And I got a few lessons from Cam Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I just taught myself guitar.
That's awesome. So how long ago was that?
2 years.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. So have you then been finding opportunities to perform now out in public?
Yeah, definitely. This year, I really started going out in the community and playing at the Bistro and Alex's and Gibby's and different restaurants and bars and stuff. And I also, for years, have been playing in nursing homes and assisted living homes.
Cool.
Because I just find it amazing to go in and play all these old songs that will rekindle, the Alzheimer's patients. It just rekindles their memories, and they start singing along with the songs, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Gina and I have had several opportunities to play with those populations, and it really is. It's very gratifying, and people sometimes make jokes about how the residents fall asleep during a show, and they're like, isn't it kind of hard playing to people that are sleeping? And my response is, no, it's wonderful. Like, they're comfortable, that feels like they're enjoying themselves to me. So good for you for taking time to have that experience, because I think it's equally rewarding for both parties, for the person playing and for the people that you're playing for in those populations. So when you're performing out, then are you doing a solo gig, or are you performing with other people? How is it working?
Oh, I've always just performed solo. Just me and my guitar usually.
Very cool. What was your first experience like when you performed out at a restaurant or a bar?
Well, I think my first experience was performing out at the Bistro, and I was up in the window of the Bistro.
Oh, wow.
So it's this little confined space, and my speakers there was all this reverb, and so the noise was coming out of the speakers, and I was in such a tight space that the sound was going back into the microphone, so it was squeaking, that high-pitched noise that no one wants to hear, and it was just squeaking, and so we had to turn it down, and then you couldn't really hear me over all the noise. So that was a very stressful first experience, which made me, I was like, oh my goodness. I was leaving that night, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm never doing this again. But then next week I went and did it again.
You're right.
And it was great.
Yeah, of course. You have to have those experiences, and then you learn from it, and you move on and keep playing. So that's cool. So what other things are you doing? You're performing, you're teaching yourself music, you're graduating from college. Or not college?
High school.
You're graduating from high school. I apologize. You're graduating from high school. What are you doing for the summer? What are your plans?
Well, over the summer I'm doing a lot of actually volunteer work, and I'm involved in a lot of different church and youth groups. There's an outreach group called Young Life that I've been involved with for years, and I'm doing Vacation Bible School with the Oswego Lions Church. We just spend a week just leading kids towards Christ with really fun games and interactive stuff. And I just got hired at Camp Foundations, so that'll take up 4 or 5 weeks of my summer, just every day for 8 hours, just doing the same thing, playing with kids. And
cool. Are you able to incorporate your music into those environments as well?
Yes, we actually, for Young Life and the youth group through the Oswego Alliance Church, we had usually they just do the same thing every time, and we will play games, and then we'll get together and do a Bible study. But we never, but they never had music before, and so the leader Ben Titus was just like, oh hey, we can have like throw a couple songs in there, and so I would start bringing my guitar, and so that was really great.
That's awesome.
To use music to get the message through too.
Right. That's very cool. How long have you been involved doing that?
I started my freshman year of high school.
Okay, cool. And were you I don't know, would you be a participant or a camper? What would you have started out as a participant or a camper in some way? Or?
Well, the cool story with Vacation Bible School, which is that week during the summer, I actually went to it when I was a little kid. And so I went like 2 summers when I was a little kid, and it was so fun. And then there were a couple summers where I couldn't go, and I forgot about it. And then this one year I wanted to go back because I was like, oh, I want to go back. It was so fun. And they were like, well, you can't. You're too old. And I was so upset. And they were like, why are you upset? You can be a leader, And I was like, really? So that was an even more amazing experience because I was able to give back, this best, this greatest week of my summer. I was able to give that and see other kids have that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So with all of that going on, tell our listeners where they can, if they can find your music anywhere, or how they can get a hold of you, or where can they find you? Are you going to be performing sometime soon? Give us the skinny on what Olivia is doing.
Yes. Well, I have a page on Facebook,
Okay.
Olivia Flint Music. So they can follow that, and I post all the times when I'm playing, and I'm playing soon at Alex's on June 25th from 6 to 9, and again July 3rd at Alex's. And yep, I just post updates to the Olivia Flint Music page.
Awesome. And you keep it updated? Good. That's good. Sometimes musicians and artists get really involved in their art and they forget to, promote themselves.
Yeah, I try.
So keep it up. Keep promoting yourself because that's really important. So speaking of promoting yourself and doing things that are important, would you be interested in picking up your guitar and giving us another song?
I would.
Let's do that. Olivia Flint, everybody.
I never thought that you would be the one to hold my heart. You came around and you knocked me off the ground from the start. You put your arms around me, and I believe that it's easier for you to let me go. You put your arms around me and I'm home. How many times will you let me change my mind and turn around? I can't decide if I'll let you save my life or if I'll drown. I hope that you see right through my wall. I hope that you catch me, 'cause I'm holding already falling. I'll never let her love get so close. You put your arms around me and I'm home. The world is coming down on me and I can't find a reason to be loved. Never wanna leave you, but I can't make you bleed if I'm alone. You put your arms around me. I believe that it's easier for you to let me go. I hope that you see right through my walls. I hope that you catch me, 'cause I'm already falling. I'll never let our love get so close. You put your arms around me and hold me. Try my best to never let you in to see the truth. I've never opened up. I've never truly loved you. Put your arms around me, and I believe that it's easier for you to let me go. Hope that you see right through my wall. I hope that you catch me, 'cause I'm already falling. I'll never let her love get so close. Put your arms around me and hold. Put your arms around me and hold.
Olivia,
What?
I would like to ask if it's cool if Gina joins you for a song.
No.
Great. We'll go right into my story then.
No.
Oh, okay. Gina, Olivia says no, but it's my show.
Because we actually practiced this one. I don't usually practice with the person I'm singing with.
That's the way to go.
Yes.
Took my love and I took it down. Climbed the mountain and turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Children get older and I'm getting older too. Take this love and take it down. If you climb a mountain, you turn around. If you see my reflection in a snow-covered hill, and sky will bring down. And if you see my reflection, snow-covered hill, maybe the landslide will bring you down. The landslide will bring you down.
I want to thank Olivia for being here. That was lovely.
I remember that summer when your world turned upside down and you became a person unrecognizable to yourself. Every night you lay down there, certain you're undeserving of their love. Price of remembering was more than you could pay, and you wouldn't put it down, no matter what we'd say. Fear bound you together, promising you'd weather life better that way. Fall apart, this is your heart, this is worth more than just suffering through. The only way to start rebuilding your heart is to fall apart. No one can walk with you if they haven't seen your pain. And the path to healing starts by giving it a name. There'll be hands reach out to guide you, even though your light is flickering. Fall apart, this is your heart, this is worth more than just suffering through. The only way to start rebuilding your heart is to fall apart. All get caught up in foolish waves of pride. All have skeletons in closets that we hide. End up alone if we lock them inside. Fall apart, this is your heart, this is worth more than just suffering through. The only way to start rebuilding your heart is to fall apart. This is your heart, this is worth more than just suffering through. The only way to start rebuilding your heart. Fall apart. Fall apart.
Fall apart.
Thank you, Gina. So as a lifelong resident of Tonkahogan, I've seen and heard many things. And because I've seen and heard many things, I've taken it upon myself to be the Tonkahogan historian, or the story keeper, if you will. And so I've found a place and a space and an avenue to be able to share that history and those stories as they come to me. And one of the things that I've done is I've taken those stories and I've created a space for myself that's very flowing and loving and wonderful, and I've been getting a lot of really great feedback. And if you'll remember way back to the beginning of this show, not today's show, but the series, the On the Porch Radio Hour, when it first was finding its way, I told a story about a young woman that went to a storytelling competition, and she made it to the finals. She thought that she had enough stories for the storytelling competition, but she ended up one short. In the moment, she decided to pull a piece of lint out of her pocket and tell a story about that piece of lint and how much it meant to her, and what it would say to her from her pocket, and how it would love her and keep her warm, and all of those things. And what was really cool about that story is that happened to me. So I wasn't in a storytelling competition, but it was my freshman year of high school, and I had to bring in a piece of poetry for my class. And I don't plan ahead. And on my way out the door, I realized that my first bell was English class, and I had to give my presentation about something that was poetry. And as I was walking out of the house thinking about how I was doomed, I walked by the dryer, and the dryer door was open, and there was this, in the lint tray, had a nice sizable piece of lint. And I just walked by, and I never even stopped walking. I just reached in and grabbed that lint out of there and balled it up and put it in my pocket. So by the time I got to English class, that ball of lint had developed its own personality. And I kind of felt bad at the end of the day after I delivered this, if I might say myself, this brilliant delivery with this piece of lint in my pocket, and how I was telling everybody about this. And then I reached in and pulled it out, and they realized that I was talking about a piece of lint, and some people thought I was being an idiot, but the teacher knew what was happening. So recently, I've been getting a lot of really cool feedback from listeners, which I really appreciate. So thank you, everybody, for paying attention and giving me great feedback, and telling me what you appreciate about my stories and the kinds of things that you'd like to hear stories about. So I've entered into a storytelling competition, and it's at the International Storytelling Center in somewhere in Tennessee, Joe Harrisburg, I think. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to butcher it, but it's in Tennessee, and it's very cool. It's the International Storytelling Center, and I've entered into their national storytelling competition. And so I had to send in a 2-minute audition, and they give you a theme. And this year's theme for all of the storytellers is lost and found. And I had it narrowed down to telling 2 different stories. One of those stories was about something that I'm not going to tell you about, because that's the avenue that I went, and I decided to pick that story and talk about that story for my piece. But it was between that piece and my ball of lint. And that ball of lint, when I was in that class, it represented me, and like carrying me around in my pocket, and how wonderful it was to have a little me in my pocket, and I could always reach in and know it was there. And it always knew that it was going to be with me, and it was always there. And I describe it in my story as just nestling up against the inside of my thigh, and just being there, and being a place where it was kept warm, and with all of the other things in my pocket, like maybe a fingernail, or a pocket knife at times, or change or, a wadded up piece of paper or notes that I had taken or a pen cap that I'd chewed on. All of the things that end up in our pockets, and sometimes things that we don't want there, and sometimes things that we do. And sometimes we end up with things in our pockets that other people lovingly slip in while we're standing there, and they try to give us a note or maybe, $1 for lunch or, something. And I get those things in my pockets, wrappers, you name it, and it's there. But it's always there with my lint. And when you lose yourself in a moment, or you lose your way, or you lose yourself and you want to find yourself, those things are there. Those things that we can turn to those things. And I was really nervous. I was really scared about putting myself out there and finding a space that I would then put my art of storytelling into a competition, and it would be judged. And one of the things we don't want to be is judged as humans. And why would we put ourselves into that place? And I love the risk, and I love the adrenaline and the way that my heart pumps, and the idea of being there in that storytelling competition with a ball of lint in my pocket and to be able to tell this and then pull it out. And I was having this vision. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to send in my 2-minute audition about. It's going to be that ball of lint in my pocket, and I could see it, and I could hear it, and I could feel it. And then I remembered, in the storytelling outline, the guidelines, the expectations, the rules, if you will, you're not allowed to have props. And I can't tell my story without pulling that piece of lint out of my pocket, but it would be considered a prop. And there's several things that I will not do. I will not enter into a competition and lower my integrity to cheat or to try to sneak by saying that a piece of lint can't possibly be a prop. And I can't possibly enter into a space where I'm being judged and tell a story about a piece of, not just a piece, but my piece of lint, and not pull it out of my pocket for the world to enjoy with me. Why would I do that? And so there it stays in the corner of my right pocket, my right front pocket of all my pants. There's that little spot where it's sewn together, where you can just perfectly fit your index finger, and sometimes you can scratch that ingrown hair that always ends up right there, and that point comes to, it's perfect, and you can just push the lint, and it forms, and it's wonderful, and it stays there, and your hand sweats because you love it so much, and the lint is there to absorb that sweat. So when you pull your hand out of your pocket, it's dry, and nobody knows that you've been playing with your lint, and that your hand was sweaty because you were nervous and scratching an ingrown hair, and it was wonderful. And then if you try to tell them about it, if you try to show off your lint, they walk away. And I can't have judges judge me for my lint, and I can't have them walk away. And I can't have the population that I'm describing my lint to think that I'm drawing them in about my heart and my soul, because that's what's there. That's where we keep that stuff, with those fingernails and those wrappers and the chewed up pieces of gum that are stuck in a love note that you didn't read from somebody that you didn't want to read a love note from, but they stuck it in your pocket and you kept it there and you didn't know what to do with it, but you had a piece of gum and you're not allowed to stick it on the bottom of your desk, so you stick it in the love note, you stick it back in your pocket, and then at the end of the day when you pull everything out, your lint is there and it says, why? Why did you put a piece of gum in there without reading that? And why did you put that piece of gum in there and not fold it in there perfect? And because there was a piece of that gum that was sticking out and it pulled a piece of me with it. And now there's a piece of me, your lint, that was here nestled in your pocket, always being your cheerleader and talking and whispering wonderful things in your ears. And you stuck a piece of gum in a letter that somebody wrote for you. And you didn't read it. And now there's a piece of me and you stuck to that piece of gum that's in that letter that you didn't read. And then you have to pull it out, and you have to pull the letter apart and pull the gum out and try to read it. And then the most important piece of the letter is always stuck to the gum and you can't read it, but there's the lint in your pocket, and the spot that used to be there on your lint, but now when you look at your piece of lint, it's got a bald spot and it's stuck to the gum that's now covering the most important piece of the letter. And what you have to do now is go back to that person and explain to them, I'm sorry, I didn't read all of your letter. I read most of it. I had a piece of really hard Hubba Bubba because you can only chew that pink crappy gum for like 2 minutes before it gets wicked hard, and now it's a jawbreaker, and it used to be gum when the jawbreaker is supposed to be sucked on and then turn into gum, and it's a completely opposite process, and nobody wants that, and you get cramps, and you don't ever keep that little wax piece of paper that the gum comes in, because the wax paper is made to not let the gum stick to it. So why would you keep the wrapper and then stick the gum back into it when you're done? Because it's not going to stick in there, and then your whole lint is going to get stuck there. So I stuck this piece of gum in your love letter. I think it was a love letter, and I got to that part where it was going to confirm whether or not it was a love letter or just a friendly greeting, and my gum is stuck there. And I need you to tell me in person what you were trying to tell me in writing, because you couldn't tell me in person, and now you have to, because I'm not going to ask you to rewrite it, but I really need to know. And I was going to write you back, but then I thought maybe you'd stick gum on mine, and it would be really important that you didn't. So I'm telling you now in person, and I hope I can be a role model for you. And there's your piece of lint in the pocket saying, "Atta boy, atta boy. Tomorrow I'm going to roll around and I'm going to put that piece of lint back where it was stuck to the gum, and I won't have a bald spot anymore because you're doing the right thing. And next time you won't stick the gum in there." And then when you're laying down at night and the house is quiet and that pair of pants is hanging on the hook next to your door, because you don't ever wear a pair of pants just one time unless you drop barbecue sauce, or that piece of gum comes out of your love letter and then sticks in the pocket, because then you have to wash it, and you wash your pants inside out because the pocket has to be inside out. You don't want to just put your pants in the wash, because somebody else might pick up the wash and see that your pocket is sticking out and then tuck it back in, and then your gum doesn't get washed out. So you turn the whole pair of pants inside out with a note that's then safety pinned to the pants, because you want it to be there, but you need somebody to know that they need to stay inside out in case they take your wash before you do. But if you don't have that stain, or if you have been kind enough not to put your gum in a love letter, then your pants are good to wear another day, and you hang them next to the hook. And you have to decide whether the lint comes out with you or if it stays in the pocket. And at that point, I think you have to ask the gum whether or not the lint stays in the pocket. And then the lint gets jealous because you're now, conversing with the gum over the lint. But does lint really get jealous? No, because it's ever loving, and that's your baggage, and you can let that go with the piece of gum that you didn't want anyway because it was too hard. So it goes there, and now it's just you and the lint. And you look at your pants. And they're on the other side of the room. And what happens if I have a bad dream? Or worse, even worse, the lint has a bad dream. And do you know how hard it is to yell for help when you're stuck inside a pocket? Have you ever been stuck inside a pocket? It's like crawling headfirst into the bottom of a sleeping bag and then trying to tell somebody that you did that, and now you're stuck there and you can't climb out, but they can't hear you, and you sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, and so then they join in because they think it's funny, but it's not, because you're suffocating in the bottom of a sleeping bag, and all you're trying to do is walk a mile in your lint shoes. That's all you were trying to do, and pretend that you were in a pocket, but you're not. You're in a sleeping bag, and now you're yelling for help, and now you're all sweaty, and guess what's not there to absorb the sweat off your face? The lint, because it's still sitting in your pocket next to the door. So you have to take the lint, and then you set it on your nightstand. But if it's summertime, or if it's really warm out, you can't, because the window's open and it might blow the lint on the floor, and then you're not going to be able to know if that was your lint or if it was just the dust bunnies that collected in the corner. And sometimes you think you can identify your lint because you don't have a lot of hair in your lint, but that's what holds it together, like roots in a bluff. That's what keeps things from eroding. And the hair keeps your lint from eroding, and it's there like the poison ivy that nobody gives love to because it's poison ivy, but it's there to hold things together, like the gum held your note together, and it's all just a big mess, and pretty soon you can't sleep anyway because you've created your own nightmare, and you call out for help, and the lint is there in your pocket saying, "I'm here," but you can't hear it because it's saying, and you don't know what that means. You're like, "Oh no, my lint needs water," and it's like, "No, I don't need water because I'm going to be like 8 times the size I'm supposed to be because I swell," and it's just a big mess. So finally, what you do is you remember back to what started this whole process to begin with, and you decide to tell stories because they're important. And stories are what keep us together. They're what keep our community informed, and that's what keeps people going. Now, I don't think that it's exactly my stories that keeps people coming back to On the Porch Radio Hour. However, I think they're important because we all find those things in our pockets, sometimes between our toes, sometimes in the end of your sock. And I'll tell another story another day about why you should wear your socks inside out, because it's important. There's seams. I won't start now. But just remember that it's there. And if you reach in and you pull out change, if you even use change anymore, and there, in those little ridges on the edge of the quarter, look close. They're not there to help you identify that it's a quarter. That's why they put George on there. Those ridges are there to remind you that there's lint in your pocket. We all need reminders. And if you need a reminder to be a reminder about a reminder, use the quarter, because it will remind you that your reminder is in the corner of your pocket. And when you pull that lint out at night and you don't put it next to the window so it doesn't blow away, and you remember that there's hair in it holding it together, remember that you as well are somebody's lint. And if they reach into their pocket and they need to pull you out, be there. And be warm and absorb their sweat, because it's tough when we're nervous. And if somebody gives you a love letter, read it. And put your gum in it after. Most importantly, there's a lot of most importantly. Remember that today is the last show of On the Porch Radio for a while, and you have to carry these things with you, because I will. I'll be at a camp filled with 200 people that are going to be looking to me to tell them stories about things that are important that we don't think about, and lint is at the top of that list all the time. And if I can reach into my pocket any time of any day, any pocket, my lint is there. Whether I put it there or not, it goes there. And be thankful you have pockets, because not everybody's belly buttons collect lint. But you should always check, especially during the summer. But as you lay down at night and you look to your pants and you thank them for the support and to keep you from being too exposed during the day, listen. Because through that denim, through that white pocket, is a voice. And listen for that voice. And you, like everybody else, when you put your pants on one leg at a time, one of those feet is going to brush up against something and you're going to hear it. And as you're walking down the street, it'll be there again. So listen, past the mumbling. And I can hear it now. This is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. been a good run, and I'm really glad that we were able to end the show for a while, but we'll be back. So don't think that I'm like, nailing the coffin shut and we're putting the show in the dirt, because we're not. We're just taking a little break because I've got places to be. People have to hear my stuff too that are not listening to On the Porch Radio Hour. So I have to go out and tell the world. What you have to do is also tell the world and pay attention to our archives and pay attention to when our next show is. Give me a second. Okay. We're going to let you know when our next show is. We're going to keep you informed, and I'm not going to tell you now. Am I?
You are. You totally are. It's on September 3rd at the Wooden Apple 4th Annual Music and Art Festival.
Oh,
Is that not what that says?
yeah, but it doesn't. Oh my gosh. It's the bottom.
Oh my
I think a man that feels
gosh! These things.
so deeply about lint that I would go all the way to the bottom.
To the end.
I would go all, yeah.
Go the whole way.
So here it is. Join us at the Wooden Apple Farmstead for our 4th annual Music and Art Festival on September 2nd and 3rd. We're going to have a songwriting contest. We're going to have vendors, art, live music, and a live recording of On the Porch Radio Hour. There's a really great chance that before then, we're going to surprise you, so pay attention to Facebook. One thing that's not going to happen, though, and feel free to write in and let me know how upset you are about this. But as things happen, we've had to withdraw from the 4th of July parade in Oswego. With so many schedules and so many people that need us, we're not able to be there. So nothing bad happened. There was no fighting or debating, or nobody came to us and said, maybe this isn't a good fit. Or gave us the old, no, really, it's me, not you. Because most likely if somebody came to us to say that our show didn't belong there, it would be them, not us. And so, anyway, that's not what happened. So we won't be there. But we will be here for you, like Lint. So remember, On the Porch Radio Hour is always here at www.weebly... Wait, hold on. This is why I have to turn around and read. www.ontheporch.weebly.com. That's where you'll find all the stuff. You just move that little mousy poo right up when you click on the Watch and Listen tab. And down like a pair of heavy pants at the end of a long day, drops a list of 60 or more episodes of On the Porch Radio Hour. So stay close, friends. And keep your computers closer, and whenever you need some love at the end of the day, look to On the Porch Radio Hour. Like today, we looked to Julie Fischer and Olivia Flint. Thank you so much for being on the show. And we look to our listeners. So thanks for being on Concert Window, and thanks for going to that Watch and Listen. And thanks for being here live at the farm. We will see you next time, and until then, peace to your journey.
On the Porch is a production of the Wooden Apple Farmstead with host and writer Matthew Wood. Our musical director is Gina Holsapple. Our stage manager is Ray Monet. Tonight's sound technician is Gina Holsapple. This week's show is recorded live from Wooden Apple Farmstead in Palermo, New York. This week's guests are local business owner Julie Fischer and musician Olivia Flint. Find information about past shows, being on the porch, and much more online at ontheporch.weebly.com.